Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Chrisley King. Welcome again today. I hope you've started writing. So I've made a few videos before today talking about academic writing and also writing for professional English exams such as IELTS or any other exam you may be thinking of preparing for English exam you want to write for. So you can watch my previous videos for you to get some insights as to how to prepare for such exams and how to put your essay together or essay, depending on whether you're writing just one exam or you want to write many exams. So that's it's important to write. As with so many aspects of our lives, we write every time, letters, we write stories, essays, poems, and all of that. So it's part of us. So we need to write. Anyhow, we just have to write at some point. So this is really important. So you can watch some of my previous videos or all of them if you like. And I also told you that I wrote a memoir about KidsCon for my sister-in-law. So that's also on my YouTube page. You can go there and see, and also to go on Amazon to buy the book. It's on Amazon. You can buy it in any country, whether you're in the US, Nigeria, UK, or even Japan, anywhere. You can get the book. So get yourself together and start writing. So I am someone who is spontaneous with writing, and I have I've tried a few things. Writing poems. I'm not a poet, by the way, but I just get inspired and then I start writing. One of my friends told me that you need to write more and then put everything together to publish it. So I put some of these poems on my blog, Nimbus blog, but I've not really done much for some time now. I've not done much. I've not been writing poems anymore. Writing poem is about inspiration, and when you're inspired, you just need to quickly put it down so that you can get everything going and flowing. So that's that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to read to you one of the poems I wrote in the past. It's irrelevant, and when I hear people either on the TV or having discussions and basically talking about some of the things I put in my poem, as I said, I'm not a poet. These things just came by inspiration. I'm like, okay, so some of these poems are actually maybe really good because as I was inspired to write, some people also get their inspiration because they just mention a few things in the poem. I wrote some of them like 3-4 years ago, some 3 years ago. So yeah, so writing is good, and I put down my thoughts in some of these poems, and I'll be reading some of them in my videos. So I'm going to start with one today, and that I wrote in 22. Hopefully you can learn from something from it. It's also the poem is on a socio-cultural issue about the law, and when people talk about law, they talk about law as if law can exist on its own without the values of the society. And for me, I disagree because I think your law should be based on your values. Your law should be based on your values. When people say, oh, we're not talking about morality here, we are talking about law. But then, how can your law be going parallel to your moral values? So whatever you put in your law should be based on what you collectively, the society collectively agree on to be their values. So when I hear that, I somewhat feel like, no, this is not right. And this is what is happening in so many societies where they have laws that are completely opposed to what they believe as what are their beliefs. Sorry, what the beliefs of the society. It's completely opposed to the laws. This shouldn't be, and that was why I put this poem together a few years ago. It says, morality begets legality. Morality is an essential part of humanity. Without it, humans cease to exist as humans. They become beasts without conscience. Actions are never weighed. Truth is lost. Therefore, society survives only on evidence-based rule of law, not founded on societal values, may lead to miscarriage of justice. Truth is thrown out of the window in desperate search for evidence, which is not always available. Without deep moral standards in a society, light thrives. White is conveniently called black. If not disproved in the court of law, it sadly becomes the truth. A clear recipe for injustice and silencing of the oppressed. In law, evidence is supreme, not truth. Embrace moral values, truth becomes your companion. Evidence becomes secondary, but not inconsequential. Justice is served, truth is upheld. When morality is sacrificed for rule of law or seen as inferior to legality, or both are portrayed as enemies of each other, character deficiency is inevitable. Honesty becomes scarce. The rule of law can prevent anarchy. However, it cannot and should not be exalted above moral values. Who defines morals? Who defines the law? Both values and laws are defined by us, humans. While morals are imbibed, laws are enforced. For a peaceful and just society, morality must not be sacrificed for the rule of law. In my opinion, morality will always tower higher than rule of law. Albeit, both can become Siamese twins, where laws are formulated in the context of moral values. So when I wrote this poem and published it initially, I remember having like probably more than an hour front and back with my friend, my very good friend, wonderful friend. So we had front and back about the issues about in law, about the line in law, evidence is supreme, not truth. So he was of the opinion that, well, of course, evidence helps you to get the truth. That's fine. But if you look at it, flip it the other way, that you have your truth, which is the truth, but there's no evidence. The court will not believe you. The court will throw it out. And of course, I've heard lawyers as well saying, get your facts, get your evidence ready. If you say it and you don't have your evidence, then that means it hasn't happened. And I agree with them. For example, if someone slaps you, but there's no mark on your cheek and only two of you were in the room when that happened, and then you get to someone to say, oh, he slapped me, and the friend says, no, I didn't slap him, and then it becomes front and back. Who will believe you? No evidence to show that the guy slapped you. But in reality, in truth, the guy slapped you. But without evidence, no, that cannot, nobody will believe you. They will just tell you to, they can even ask you to pay fine or compensation or whatever for defamation. So this is it. So truth and law or rule of law or evidence can coexist. They can exist together. They can support each other. But when there's no evidence, then truth can be sacrificed, which should not be. So in law, evidence is always supreme, not the truth. And I think that is the reality of the society. Unless the person or people decide to say the truth, then it becomes a battle of evidence. So that is it for today. I want to encourage you to continue to share my videos, like and subscribe. Do have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see in the next one. Bye.